Hello and welcome to my math companion. In this video, I'll be showing you how to solve a quadratic equation of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 by factorization. So let's begin. The question tells us to solve x square plus 5x plus 6 equal to 0 by factorization. So the first step in solving any quadratic equation is to write your equation of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. In our case, or in this problem, the problem is already written in that form, where a is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant term. This means that a is equal to 1, b is equal to 5, and c is equal to 6. The next step is to find two numbers such that when you multiply these two numbers together, you get c times a, and when you add them together, you get b. In a more algebraic sense, we must find two numbers k and m such that k times m is equal to c times a and k plus m is equal to b. So since the numbers here are very small, we can easily do a trial and error method, and we find that 3 and 2 as k and m are two plausible answers. So you see, in this equation we need to find k times m equal to 1 times 6 and k plus m is equal to 5, and 3 and 2 work because 3 times 2 is equal to 6 and 3 plus 2 is indeed equal to 5. Note that it does not matter which one is k and which one is m, that is 3 can be either k or m, and the same thing applies to 2, since multiplication and addition are both associative, which means that the order does not matter. 2 plus 3 is the same thing as 3 plus 2, and 3 times 2 is the same thing as 2 times 3. Next, what we must do is we must take this middle term, that is 5x, and we must split it into kx plus mx. So here, since k and m are 3 and 2, we can split 5x into 3x plus 2x. So this process is known as splitting the middle term. And now we rewrite our equation as x square plus 3x plus 2x plus 6 is equal to 0. The next step is to take two terms at a time. So that is, we first take x square plus 3x and then we take 2x plus 6, and we must factorize each of them. So we take the first two and last two terms together and remove any factors or factor out the factors. So we see that in x square plus 3x, the highest common factor is x. So x is the HCF of these two numbers. So we can factor out x and write x square plus 3x as x times x plus 3. Now you will see that x times x plus 3 is equal to x square plus 3x when you expand this like a binomial. So you do x times x and you add it with x times 3 and you will get x square plus 3x. Now we do the same thing with 2x plus 6. However, in this case, 2 is the highest common factor of 2x and 6. So we will factor out 2, and since 2 times x is equal to 2x and 2 times 3 is equal to 6, we can write 2x plus 6 as 2 times x plus 3. If you're not sure what would go inside this binomial, if you didn't know that it was x plus 3, what you can do is you can divide 2x by 2 and 6 by 2, and dividing 2x by 2 you get x, and dividing 6 by 2 you get 3. So x plus 3 must go inside the binomial. So next, we rewrite our equation as x into x plus 3 plus 2 into x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now you may notice that both the binomials are x plus 3 and x plus 3. Therefore, we can take 2, we can add 2 and x, we can add this 2 and x and multiply the whole thing with x plus 3, and it would mean the same thing. Since if you were to expand this like a binomial, you would get 2 times x plus 2 times 3, which is equal to 2 times the whole of x plus 3. And that would be added to x times x plus x times 3, which would be x times the whole of x plus 3. And that's exactly what's there here. X times the whole of x plus 3 plus 2 times the whole of x plus 3. So, but however, note that this can only be done when you have the same terms in both the binomials. So you must have x plus 3 and x plus 3, or basically the binomial must be exactly the same if you are to add this 2 to this x. So now we do that, and we now have factorized our equation into two binomials, into binomial factors. Now what we do is we have to somehow solve for x. So since the product of both these terms is equal to 0, at least one of them must be equal to 0 for the entire product to be equal to 0. Now we see that x plus 2 and x plus 3 cannot both be equal to 0 at the same time, since that would create problems. It would create quite a lot of problems, and it would disobey the basic laws of mathematics. It would mean that x is equal to -2 and -3 at the same time, which is impossible. Therefore, only one of them can be equal to 0 at once. So we will make each of them equal to 0 and see what we get as the value of x. So if we make x plus 2 equal to 0, it suggests that x is equal to -2. And if we make x plus 3 equal to 0, we see that x is equal to -3. Now this is simple solving of a single variable equation. For the first one, you simply subtract 2 on both sides to get x equal to -2, and for the second one, you subtract -3 on both sides to get x equal to -3. And these are our two solutions. So this is how you factorize a quadratic equation into its binomial factors and then solve for x.